It's midnight, and I'm scrolling on the internet like I typically do. And I come across this. No, go back up. Yes, this. $410. Wait a minute. Do what? Oh yeah, count me in. There's no shortage of pallet woodworkers on YouTube. And that's for sure. So that's why I tend to stray away from the pallet wood projects. But today, I couldn't help myself. So come to find out, there's no science behind taking apart pallets. You just gotta get your hands dirty and get dusty. Of course, you could buy one of those crazy pallet busters or those pneumatic nail poppers, but I'd rather save the money and just get my hands on it. And once I'm done sweating and gritting, I can tell the wife I worked out. I'm looking to use a particular part of this pallet, and that's these braces. But specifically the braces that have that little alcove in them. That's the ones you're going to want to find. Now, owning my own company building homes, I come across pallets fairly often, and typically I just burn them or I'll give them away to some fellow woodworkers. But not today. Because today, we're going to be making a badass wall-mounted whiskey display. Let's go. First things first, we denail everything. Once I begin denailing these things, I'm quickly reminded of why I don't do many pallet wood projects. And that's because of the time-consuming, tedious task of busting these things apart. Or what I like to call TTT. TTT. But it is hard to say no when you get it for free. Now that we've got damn geese. Now that we've got all of this denailed, I'm going to go ahead and start with my sides. If you don't have any pallet wood, you can simply get a 2x4x8 to get these pieces. I'm going to be making the cut right at the beginning of one of my little notches here, and that will wind up measuring out to be 32 inches. Next, I'll grab two of my 1x pieces, and the width of these ones are 3 3/4 and 3 5/8. And that's not going to matter, so we'll just take these to the miter box and get them cut down. And again, if you don't have a pallet, you can just use some 1x4. We've got one end squared up, and we're going to cut these two to 22 inches. And you know what time it is. We're going to add a dab of glue, 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 add a dab of glue. And we're going to pop a Brad in his ass. And we're nailing both pieces directly to the top and the bottom, flush to the outsides. Next, we'll cut our backers, and I'm going to be cutting 3 for the back. 1 at 6 inches and 2 at 3 inches. We'll be cutting these down to 22 inches as well. Now, depending on what type of shape your pallet is in will determine if you need to clean them up with the planer or the joiner, or you can take a belt sander to them, or just sand them down as best you can get them. For me, I just wanted to skip plane these just to get some of that paint off, but I still wanted to keep that rustic look. We'll be gluing and nailing the 6-inch piece to the top back, flush to the top and the sides. For our bottom, we'll be nailing the 3-inch piece down at the bottom, doing the same method with glue and a couple brad nails. I'm using 1 1/4 brad nails to nail all this together. So y'all know I gotta keep it real with you. I should have not nailed my top yet. I wanted to add a 45-degree bevel to the whole bottom side of that because we're going to be doing a French cleat to hang this piece. I was considering key slots, but I just don't feel confident that the key slots will hold this very well with all those whiskey bottles. But have no fear because we still got another option. Let me show you. So for my middle piece, I don't need much of a backer. I just need enough of a backer to hold those whiskey bottles in place, which really the wall will do the majority of the holding. So what I'm going to do is rip this about half and half with a 45-degree bevel. So we'll butt our top piece here and pull down 6 inches, and that will be the top of our back piece here. I've got these 3 pieces out of my pallet that were 1.5 inches, and these are going to be perfect for the 3 front rails that will hold everything in place. So I'm going to go ahead and get these things cut down to 22 inches as well. I'm going to go ahead and skip plane these so I can get them a little bit cleaner, and I'll meet you back here. For my very bottom rail, I'll pull up from the bottom 2.5 inches, and that'll be the bottom of my rail. We'll add a dab of glue, and we're going to pop a Brad in his ass. Alright, before we do our other 2 front rails, I got to do 2 shelves, one at about center and then one at the top. So I'm going to get these 2 pieces here left over, ripped down to 3.5. Now that these are ripped, I'm going to cut those 2 pieces 18 inches. Now it's time for some pocket holes. We're going to start by installing our top piece first. And we'll go flush to the bottom of our top backer. And I'm using the 1.5 inch pocket screws. For the shelf that's going to be holding our whiskey, we'll pull down 21.5 inches from the top. And that will be where we install our shelf. For our whiskey shelf rail, we're going to pull up from the bottom of that shelf 2 inches. And that'll be the bottom of our rail. Add a dab of glue. And pop a Brad in his ass. And that's pretty much it, rock stars. Now just take the other part of your French cleat, take it to the wall or the fence or wherever you want to hang it, and install that to your wall or fence. And you've got yourself one badass whiskey display.
You can call me stupid. Yes, you can call me sheep. You can say I'm lazy. You can say I'm weak. You think that using her would get to me. And if you're right, then you're in trouble, D. 'Cause I won't break, no, I know I won't wait.
Well, rock stars, I really hope y'all enjoyed that video as much as I did creating it. I want y'all to take a look at what they're getting for projects like this. From a free pallet, you can turn and burn one hell of a profit. I mean, damn. In 2 people's carts, 45 views in the last 24 hours. That's nuts. But hey, I mean, more power to him. If he's really getting that amount for those, man, count me in. I'm all about it. Let's go. You can find pallets behind local shopping centers, cabinet shops, job sites. I mean, they're everywhere. So let's go. Hop in your vehicle, crank that thing up, and go find yourself some pallet wood and turn and burn a profit. Hell, you give me $175 for the one that I built, and we're in the game. That is, of course, after I apply the finish to it, which is probably just going to be a clear. I really hope that this video has motivated you and inspired you to get in your shop and make some sawdust. Scott.